How long has it been since we last did an IRL video?
So, Joe, did you freeze your
Hello,
nipples
brother. Yeah, in preparation for this, I've sought out the countries with the coldest winters to freeze my
Yeah.
nipples.
Well, it's Instant Replay Live, and it has been literal years since we have
Yeah.
uploaded any content.
Which is as close to instantaneous as we could get. We were always exploring what the channel name meant and
Yes.
what is instantaneous. You know, it's like,
And
okay,
they
this is-
definitely, anyone who was interested could always replay in that time, any amount that they wanted. Like, the live
Right.
replays were there and ready to go at
that
any
we've
instant.
pretty much got nailed down.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the new definition of instant, which is about 2 years since you and I last recorded something together,
Right.
a Mario Maker Let's Play, and a lot has happened to us and the world in 2 years. So, oh man, there's a cat throwing up a hairball behind me. I'm in a room full
So
of
nothing has
cats right
changed
now.
in some ways.
Yeah, Joe, where are you right now? Let's talk about where you are.
So right now I'm in Rome, Italy, which is I've been bouncing around many places, and tomorrow I'll be in London. So
Wow.
after the IRL disbanding, the breaking of the fellowship, I kind of went jumping around the U.S. and then went jumping around the world after I got vaccinated. And then after
you took a global pandemic where everybody was sheltering in place and not going anywhere, and you were like, I think this is a great time to see everything everywhere.
Yeah. The funny thing is that part of that is kind of true because some places are so much less visited right now.
Yeah.
You get actually weirdly isolated, like places that are normally tourist traps, or sometimes not. Rome is, though. Rome is full of tourists. But there was a time after the COVIDs began that I was locked down, and but a series of, there's been a lot of life changes for me, I think.
Yeah, when we really break it down, when we last left off the channel, like aside from the one-off that was like a hey, let's catch up again, kind of like this. You had moved to Montana. Was it Montana at that time? Okay, and like that was like the end of what we were doing. We kind of closed out all the Let's Play videos, and we were like, all right, this is the end of that era. And we had all these big plans of like what we were going to do new with the channel, and we've accomplished maybe 2 of them. One new instant roleplay since then, and the Attract Mode podcast. That's really like all we've done since then. But yeah, so Montana was a big thing for you, and then you spent a long time there being a live-in nanny.
Which I should say, the whole reason this kind of got kicked off was I got laid off from my job in Virginia, and I thought, okay, well, this kind of like liberates me in a weird way, and I just want to see some more of the world. And that was before COVID, and I thought, okay, cool. I had a friend. We both had a mutual friend in Montana. They just had a baby. They needed a nanny. It was just like a weird opportunity to jump to Montana, which ended up being the place where I spent my COVID, because that's as soon as I moved in January, and then February was like, COVID was already happening, but February was when we started believing in it, as a country, kind of. Some of us started believing in it anyways.
I was at GalaxyCon, like, I think it was right at the end of February, like first weekend in March maybe. And like, that's when it was like, God, should I be here? Like, is this not a good idea? And then the very next weekend is when everything was locked down. Like, it was insane how quickly it came on.
Yeah. And it was for a good long while. Obviously I'm in Rome now, but for a good long while I was like full hermit mode in Montana, because I got my own place, and I was just like going into the woods and hiking every day. Like legitimately I would hike every day, and honestly, it was actually fantastic. I've had a very, very good COVID pandemic. And
so what you're saying is you're glad for the death of millions.
Well, the weird thing is,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No. But I really do have, because it wasn't just that I like ended up in Montana. It was also that when I did get a new job, it ended up becoming fully remote.
Right.
Which
for
is
a lot of
why
people
I'm able to
great.
travel now. Like it wasn't going to be at first. We were going to go back into the office. But then they said, you know what? Actually working from home is working. Keep doing it. And nice. I said, cool, I'm going to sell all my stuff and go and travel the world.
Yeah. So can you give even if you miss one or two, can you give like a breakdown of where you've been so far?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. I did do a tour of the U.S., which is kind of, I think, a good taste of travel. I went through like Texas, Arizona, Utah, Grand Canyon, all that, and then I ended up in Montana. From Montana, because I met a girl online dating, I took a vacation and met her for the first time in Italy and Spain over the summer, which I'll just give the rundown then. So Spain, Italy, Germany, Austria, Belgium, Czech Republic, Hungary, Georgia, Ukraine, and then I've just come back to Italy. So I think, I don't know if I missed any, but that's my list so far, and counting. So
yeah, I think in the last same span of time, I've been to my house, and that's about it. Yeah.
It's something that's really funny to me is catching up with people who are in the process of buying a house.
Oh man.
And considering how I'm in like the complete opposite world right now. I mean, obviously you're far into that process. You own a house, you're there, you know, that is your committed path right now. And talking to friends of mine who are like having babies and getting houses, and I'm like, man, I just like essentially became homeless on purpose.
Right. You absolutely did. You're just a vagrant traveling, singing songs in taverns for a coin for the night.
Right.
Yeah.
We do call it, there's a phrase for it now that we call it digital nomads, which there's even like countries are making digital nomad passports so you can stay and work.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's like been called couch surfing for decades, but I guess this is a little different.
But like the workers,
Yes.
When you because they're making like legislation in like European countries that are like, okay, if you can take care of yourself because you have stable income, you just have to prove you have a certain amount of money already, and then you have to like show you can go through this process to get a kind of a unique new passport visa situation that is specifically called the digital nomad. I haven't gone through that yet because a lot of countries are still forming it. Like Italy doesn't have one finalized yet. You have to do like some pseudo residential stuff. But anyways, travel is crazy, but we're still we did end up, despite going to opposite ends of the world, we were brought back together to discuss IRL because
of the worst reason possible. Is that what you're getting at?
What's that?
Oh, are you talking about the worst reason possible for why we would come back to YouTube?
I figured we should be honest about why we're here.
Yeah, why this video exists is that about nearly 30 days ago, we're riding the line real close. I got an email from YouTube that said, hey, you haven't uploaded in 2 years, and we're going to take away your monetization, which is like, it's such a silly carrot to dangle anyways, because the monetization for this channel, like, it hasn't had a payout in over a year. Like, there is no money in this thing anyway. But there is something about it where the idea of losing it and then having to regain it, like going through the whole process of regaining it, would be so frustrating that I think I would never do anything again. And there has been this like burning desire in me ever since we stopped to do something else. Like, primarily instant roleplay has been what's been my focus, but like I can't do it the way I was doing it. Instant roleplay as it was is just not sustainable as a hobby, and working a full-time job and dealing with family and everything else. Like it just isn't a good option in that format, but I'm sure there's something, and I don't know what it will be, but I've been holding on to that idea for so long and not doing anything with it that when this came, I was like, oh, this is it. This is either the like, I do it and we keep the monetization. We get something out there to keep the monetization of 30 days to upload from the time they sent the email, or I don't do it and I probably never do anything again just because they have removed the like, and again, silly carrot, because it's nothing. There's no money in this for me, but the idea of losing it somehow feels like a punishment for some reason.
And yet, I think
so. Here we are.
even if we call it the worst reason, I think any reason to continue pursuing a hobby is still valid.
Yeah, and getting out there and doing something creative. And I've been really feeling my creative drive like building over time. I think you're frozen, unfortunately, on my screen, but I'm going to keep talking.
Yeah, I was just
hopefully you'll catch up.
Let me see if I can slide into the hotel Wi-Fi zone.
So this is the downside of you being all over the world, is that your internet is, a crapshoot, what you'll get in any given place. And since we had this time crunch of getting this video out, it was like, well, we got to do it no matter where you are, no matter how bad it is, no matter how echoey the kitchen is that you're recording in. Hang in there, anyone who's actually watching this. He'll be back. While Joe is frozen and looking at us in a very confused way, I'm going to just say that like there's been a lot going on our Discord in the last few years that has floated this community along in a surprising way, which has been the coolest thing about doing any of this. Joe's pose is cracking me up.
Am I stuck?
Yeah, you're stuck.
Good. IRL is back.
So we have through the years carried on that chat, that Discord, with a good healthy number of people, and had ongoing discussions and event nights like game nights and art nights once a month, which have been really cool, where we just literally get together on voice chat and make art together. And that has been an excuse for me to sit down and like focus on doing something that I often don't take for myself, which is awesome. And then the D&D campaign we've got going on there right now has been huge for me, because the hardest thing that happened to me during the pandemic was my D&D group that met in my house could no longer meet in my house. We had too many concerns of people that my wife works with and things like that. Spreading any kind of COVID risk to them is no good. She works with the elderly. And so we switched to online play, and man, that was rough at first. We just had too many technical difficulties, too many scheduling difficulties, too many just various issues to make it ever feel right. And we were in the middle of a campaign, so I didn't take the time to like build that campaign towards this online play thing, and really it didn't adapt well. But then doing Discord, doing a new game with the Discord people,
with our channel,
with the people on our channels, all of our friends who have their own channels and things like that, and Twitch streams and stuff like that. Doing that has been like, everything is built towards the concept of playing online, and it has really reinvigorated me. I also use this like endless, sitting at home time to watch a lot of actual plays, like the Dimension 20 let's plays, or not let's plays, but actual plays of D&D and other games. And that like lit a spark in me of reminding me like, oh man, there is a way to DM that is not intentionally antagonistic to the players, but is like, you forget to root for the players sometimes. Yeah. And I had fallen into that, I think, and stopped being a fan of my player characters for a little while. And seeing another DM who is the opposite of that, is such a fan of his players, just reminded me of like how much fun this game could be if you do that right.
Right.
And I think that has drastically changed how I run games. And I've been just fully reinvested in D&D over this last year and a half. So exciting for me.
And now that the channel has the threat of being demonetized, and there's a reason to throw something up on here, maybe the future includes some D&D content?
Maybe, yes. I can't say for sure what we're going to do. It's hard to decide outright that I'm going to dive in any specific way is very hard to say, but I think there is a strong possibility I'm going to come out with something. Especially, we're sort of breaking the seal with this video, right? We're putting something on the channel again, and then it's like, well, once we've done one, maybe I'm ready to do something else.
I can expect, though. I remember how much work you put into Instant Roleplay Live and how heavy that was, and I imagine you're not going to dive into a whole new tabletop sim.
It's not going to be that for sure.
Yeah.
Anything we do, the most realistic prospect is that I'm probably going to do like a me in front of a camera talking about things I like in the hobby and, what's going on with new books and things like that. That's the kind of stuff that I've been getting into a lot, and I think is a lot more sustainable. I love actual play, and I think the idea of doing more actual plays is great. I just can't commit the time sink, unfortunately, to that.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think especially with my main internet consumption now with YouTube, when I'm just wandering around, there are times when I'll just listen to people talk about D&D and stuff, because I don't. The hardest thing for me about being over here and during the pandemic is that I'm off time now with everyone in the US, all of my players. And so it's very, very hard to even contemplate scheduling games. But jumping in and listening to any kind of D&D or just RPG content, there's endless room for different kinds of discussion, whether it's gameplay or just discussing the lore or concepts. So
it's a very full and available market, I think, to fill up with interesting stuff, stuff that's worthwhile, and it's where my passion lies. So I hope I can do something fun with that.
And I especially because I don't know where I'll be, but I've talked to Nick about this potentially, just seeing whatever the future of the channel shapes up to be. I certainly want to be a part of Instant Replay Live if it continues going. So what my role will be, how many videos I'll appear in. We don't even know how many videos Nick's going to be in. So, but if Instant Replay Live goes on, I'll be there in some form. But Nick will be definitely carrying the torch.
Well, yeah, but like we talked about, you're coming here in the middle of the year, and maybe if we have some time, we can slot something in.
Absolutely.
Do something fun together.
Another Mario Maker.
Another Mario Maker episode. Yeah, we were talking right before, like, it was Mario Maker 2 years ago, and then 2 years before that was Bud On. There's nothing else. It's been 4 years since we've made like regular content on this channel, and I don't know that we're going to get back to regular content ever, but we've got some ideas for something. And there are other people who are involved in the channel who might have some ideas as well. The GIRLs might be working on something, so we'll see what comes of that.
And I mean, a lot of the people we've collabed with in the past, we're still regularly chatting with them. I'm sure they would be happy to jump in at some point too. I'm speaking for them now, but
well, you don't have to, because several have already offered. When I first pitched, or not pitched, but when I first talked about I just got an email that we're getting demonetized, several people came to me with messages saying, if you need to make something, I'll help you.
Nice. That's so good.
So yeah, that's very exciting. All of our old friends are still out there, and we've got some plans. So
speaking of friends, so we've met several of our IRL friends, the related channels, going through the States, people from Arizona and from Texas, people who have their own channels, people who have been on our channels. Longtime friend of the channel, Vaguely Someone. I'm actually going to go to his country tomorrow, and we're going to meet him for the first time. I'm going to meet him for the first time. So that's one of the craziest things. IRL has had such a huge impact on our lives, but obviously I think the biggest one for us is the community, the friends. And I'm super excited to be able to meet, one of our closest friends in person for the first time, actually.
Yeah, it's wild that not only almost all of these interactions started in the Damn Lag forums, how many years ago now? 7 years ago? 7 years ago? 7 years ago.
7 For those who don't know, Damn Lag is like a whole bunch of people trying to figure out how to do the YouTube thing, right?
Yeah.
The YouTube and streaming. Like, how do we do Let's Plays, talking amongst each other? And
people looking for collabs.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what that forum is like now. We haven't been back in years, so
does it still exist? I don't even know.
Tread carefully if you do go looking. But it's so cool to have met so many people in a forum that have become so important in our lives this 7 years. Like, that's insane.
It's insane. Almost a decade.
Yeah, like, we're going to at some point have to do something for the Instant Replay Live 10-year anniversary, and it's not that far away.
That's pretty funky.
Like, even if we're not making content by then, we still have to do something, because that's wild. So many great friendships have built out of this, and so many cool connections, and I'm just I'm excited to jump back into it. Your video for the last joke? I'm sorry?
What's the old joke that we used to have, IRLCon 2015?
IRLCon 2015. Every year is IRLCon 2015.
Right.
No matter what.
I'm looking forward to the IRLCon 2015 10-year anniversary then.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one to be at. You, for the last several minutes, and I just haven't stopped you from talking, you have basically been in like a locked frame for, a minute at a time, and then it'll update. It's kind of like one of those really bad sketches, like an animatic, where somebody's just like drawn the basic frames, the keyframes, and then put their audio voiceover to it.
Good.
And there's some choice faces in here, so you'll enjoy Frozen Joe.
Fantastic. I can't predict what my echoey voice is going to be like yet, but I'm sure
the audio is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
This is going to be bad, but
this is welcome to the return of IRL. We're back. We're powerful. We're frozen. We're echoing.
Worse than we've ever been. That's the title of the video.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It's our stand-up special too.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I think we got a lot of cool things coming, though. Potential anyway. And we made this video for the worst reason, but hopefully good things will come of it. And what else is there to say, Joe? I can think of one thing.
See you on the videos.
Wow, wow. Really kick it.
Yo, plans, free stroke, Sonic Golf.
Sonic Golf?